Fox News. The Vatican released pictures showing the Pope for the first time in a red robe inside an open casket.
Cardinals are arriving from around the world. The first meeting took place, about 60 of them, setting that time, making that decision to decide that the funeral would take place Saturday at 10 a.m. local. That is 4 a.m. Eastern.
Fox's Alex Hogan in St. Peter's Square, and where crowds have gathered again before public viewing for the Pope's casket begins tomorrow in Rome and days after the funeral.
The conclave, the process of picking a new Pope, takes place at the Vatican. The College of Cardinals gathers at the Sistine Chapel to select a new Pope. The Cardinals vote by secret ballot. A 2/3 vote is required. Ballots are then burned. The smoke color will indicate the result. If the smoke is white, a new Pope has been picked.
Now, Pope Francis led the Catholic Church for 12 years. He died early yesterday at the age of 88, suffering a stroke that led to heart failure. President Trump will attend the funeral in Rome Saturday. In the meantime, he says he's still hopeful they can work out a ceasefire in Ukraine.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio in London tomorrow as discussions continue. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin claims he's open to direct peace talks with Ukraine. President Donald Trump has threatened to walk away unless some progress is made.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Millions of Americans who defaulted on federal student loan debt will have to make payments again starting next month after a 5-year COVID break. Education Secretary Linda McMahon wrote in a Wall Street Journal op-ed.
It's, quote, not because we want to be unkind to student borrowers. Borrowing money and failing to pay it back is not a victimless offense. Debt doesn't go away. It gets transferred to others. If borrowers don't pay their debts to the government, taxpayers do.
Fox's Todd Pyro. Harvard University suing the Trump administration, trying to unfreeze more than $2 billion in federal grants, claiming it's unlawful, as the president tries to get Harvard and other schools to change policies, saying they allowed anti-Semitism to flourish on campuses. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
4 more Democratic lawmakers went to El Salvador, but unlike Senator Chris Van Hollen last week, they did not get to meet Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was sent there with other alleged gang members last month, mistakenly, despite an earlier court order he not be sent there. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports the Democrats went
to also make their point that what happened to Abrego Garcia can't happen again. Representatives Robert Garcia, Maxwell Frost, Yasmin Ansari, and Maxine Dexter say they met with the U.S. Embassy in El Salvador, and they say they were not happy with the responses they got. They were not able to meet with Abrego Garcia, who's no longer being held in that notorious maximum security prison. He's been transferred to another detention facility.
Now, the Supreme Court ordered the government to facilitate his return, but the Trump administration insists Abrego Garcia is a gang member who should not return. Now an update on someone else the Trump administration is trying to deport.
Despite pleas to release him so he could witness the birth of his son, Mahmoud Khalil's wife has given birth as he remains in custody, awaiting deportation in Louisiana. His wife, Dr. Noor Abdallah, giving birth Monday morning after the request was denied. Khalil was arrested by ICE agents in March, who revoked his green card and student visa, claiming Khalil led activities on the Columbia University campus that were aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. A judge ruled earlier this month that Khalil can be deported. Khalil's attorney is challenging his detention as unconstitutional retaliation for his free speech. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after the Dow plunged nearly 1,000 points. In the NBA playoffs, a rare win for Detroit.
That's saucy! Cade Cunningham! Razzle-dazzle jam!
The Pistons snapped a record 15-game postseason losing streak dating back to 2008, beating the New York Knicks 100-94 on TNT, tying the series 1-1. The LA Clippers also got even, beating Denver 105-102 in Game 2. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign County Sheriff's deputy charged with theft exceeding $10,000 in a fundraising scandal for the 1078 Foundation. ISP Division of Criminal Investigations Zone 5 special agents issued a notice to appear in Champaign County on May 22nd to 40-year-old Matthew Stuckey. 4 Wisconsin people dead. It follows a plane crash in Trilla, Illinois. State police say it happened Saturday when a single-engine plane went down 3 miles south of Mattoon in Coles County. The coroner there identified the victims as Ross Nelson, Ramey Rundle, Courtney Morrow, and Michael Morrow. All the victims were from Menominee, Wisconsin. A street closure goes into effect in Champaign today in order to complete a sanitary sewer connection at 512 West White Street. DNS Sewer Company is closing the westbound lane of White Street just east of Lynn Street. The lane will reopen on or before April 27. Drive safe in construction zones. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, good morning. It is ESPN 93.5. I'm Stevie J. Diane is off today. It is April 22nd. It is Tuesday morning all day long, Tuesday. And we check with our meteorologist. He's Greg Solier, who's been studying. Man, you came up with a good-looking day today, buddy. Man.
Yeah, well, thank you. Good morning. Nice to see that Diane's got some time off. Good for her.
Yep, and we have some great clips to play and share.
Brother Johnny turning up
Yeah,
today?
he'll be around just doing the coffee. He was across the street, the Philo Tavern, you know.
Checking in with the area producers and farmers.
Well,
and
exactly, and
sure.
get the good material. 98% of it, which is, can't air. But anyway, it's good stuff. Good stuff that we always brief ourselves. It's good to go to hear what the solid middle Western people think. And you might disagree with the farmer, but they're salt of the earth kind of people.
I was just going to say that. Yeah,
it's good.
Wise beyond words.
Well, and they're just hardworking folks. They just really are. It isn't easy out there with the farming stuff, man. You don't generally talk to somebody that's going to go try and get a $2 million loan to start being a farmer. You're kind of in it or you're not, right?
And if you want equipment and harvest, and that's 6 figures you're starting the bidding off with and picking up and using it all that any time of the year.
I mean, didn't the combine cost $500,000 now?
Yeah. That's pricey stuff. And you got to find a place to park it too.
Well, that's right. You got to have some sort of Morton shed or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is no easy feat in this day and age, or any age really. Farming.
And by the way, you have to tinker and know how to tinker. You have to know how to make stuff work. But these days, though, those the combines, I've not been in a new one, but they're pretty fancy. Stevie J might be able to farm. All you have to do is
autonomous equipment is becoming the rage, if you will.
I could literally sit there and just make sure it doesn't fall off a cliff, and it kind of turns itself now, doesn't it? I mean,
run it on your phone, basically, is the way it's working. Moving in that direction at least.
Unbelievable. Meteorologist Greg Solier will look at our weather forecast, brought to you by Carl. Visit carl.org. And good morning, Mr. Weatherman.
And good morning there, Mr. J. And a good-looking morning here. Temperatures in the 40s across the area. Still the need to kind of fire up the furnace and the boiler and all that, but hopefully we'll be able to move out of that in the coming days and into the weekend with regard to nighttime lows around here. And we kind of alternate between typical spring-like environs with temperatures. We'll see that into the weekend, a warm-up ahead of it, and a more summer-like feel around here with a steady rise on humidity and dew points. But that's going to breed a very wet weather pattern as well with each and every day next week, chasing showers and thunderstorms, of which then a developing warm front to the north of us, a couple of showers making their way out of eastern Iowa, northwest Illinois, southern Wisconsin. Conceivable, maybe the northernmost listing area has a brief shower later on this morning, but sunshine will be the rule. Increasing southeast wind and high temperature today up around 76. We'll about milder tonight at 53, and there may be a couple of drops of rain here in Champaign County on northward after midnight tonight. Tomorrow mostly sunny, milder southeast winds will stay light. Good day's worth of outdoor work and drying too for a change with a high up near 78, but we're back into at least a couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms late Thursday at 82, increasing south wind and higher humidity. Showers and thunderstorms, couple of rounds of rainfall at half to an inch Friday with a high temperature up near 75. Some sun for the weekend, more seasonal, upper 60s. Another big warm up next week, 77 on Monday, under the low to mid 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Each day a scattering of showers and thunderstorms. Matter of fact, they'll take us through late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm just Greg Solier.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Again, good morning. We are streaming on X, Stevie JAY-FM. If you want to watch a fish in an aquarium, that's kind of what I got. I got my UAV sweatshirt on today. University Avenue CrossFit. Weather also brought to you this morning by Watts Coffee Systems. They offer cost-efficient solutions for busy offices. If you're interested in a free evaluation, you can call 217-352-0428. Had a little problem with scanning the other day, and boom, they were there. Good locally owned company, Watts Coffee Systems. Well, good to have you listening here this morning. I got some clips. I've got something about where America has spent its time. What percentage of your time was spent on what since 1930? So we're coming up on 100 years. And you could probably guess how some of our priorities have shifted and where they have gone. But it is a little bit alarming where we're spending most of our time right now, right? We got that coming up. Also, a great clip from Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House. They are still trying to get this MS-13, alleged MS-13 guy out of El Salvador, and a bunch of Democrats are down there, but they don't know where he is. They transferred him to better accommodations, but nobody knows where he is. And so they're flying down to El Salvador, I guess, for sound bites. I guess. I don't quite get it. But they're trying to get this fella out, and they're all accounts is he's not a very nice man. But was it due process? Was it a violation? Did he have legal status in America? I mean, you could bring him back. He'd be incarcerated. Then they can deport him and go through process. I guess you can, but I don't think it's going to happen. El Salvador is in charge of their he's from El Salvador, so, and there's an awful lot of evidence that says he's just not a good guy, and that doesn't matter. If the Democrats should be leaning more on this wasn't due process, I guess, even though I didn't think you could get due process if you're not a legal member of our country. So there's that out there this morning. We jump to our quick morning sports this morning with the Cardinals have lost 5 straight. You know that they've had 9 wins and they have 14 losses, but 6 of the losses are by 1 run, and another 1-run loss last night.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals had a couple of leads in the game, only to have a 5-run bottom of the 8th inning give Atlanta a commanding 4-run lead. Yet when it was all said and done, the Cardinals put on a charge against Raisel Iglesias. A couple of doubles, Pages, Victor Scott, and a home run by the Cardinal first baseman Wilson Contreras. The Cardinals were down by a run, and that's the way the game ended, 7-6 Atlanta.
Couldn't quite overcome the 8th inning, which was really a disaster for the Cardinals bullpen. Not a good outing for Phil Maton, really his worst as a Cardinal. His numbers had been good coming into the game, but he just did not have it, was not throwing strikes, and Jojo Romero giving up the home run to Murphy.
Eric Fetty, though, put up a quality start.
Another good start for him, really a courageous one, considering he got hit in the knee with a line drive early.
Spencer Strider will not start the game tonight. He's on the injured list with a hamstring injury, but Andre Palante will start for the Cardinals. We're on the air from Atlanta at 5:20.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
All right, so let's see. The Cubs are off. They play today. They play the Dodgers again. You know, the Cubs and Dodgers will have played 7 times in their first month. They played, remember, in Japan. Cubs had to go to Japan for that setup. They lost 2 there. And then they did very well out in L.A. at Chavez Ravine. Then they get them 2 days, today and tomorrow, and then that's it for the Dodgers. That's the last time the Cubs have to play arguably the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that's kind of cool. And the Cubs are still in first place after all that. Anyway, Cubs-Dodgers tonight, 6:10 on the air, 6:40. You'll hear all the Chicago Cubs action this year on US 105.9. Well, Fighting Illini football going to be ranked to start the season. Has it ever happened where Indiana University and Illinois have been ranked? They're going to play their first Big Ten game against each other. And you're going over to probably a sellout in Bloomington, Indiana? I thought they were a basketball school. Huh? Anyway, Indiana's got it going on with that new head coach they had last year. Remarkable year for the Hoosiers. The coach said, I win, Google me, that guy. Can't pronounce his name, but he's done well. Illinois is going to go unranked, and so is Indiana, and we're all kind of excited. Is anybody talking to Luke Altmaier about Tennessee? Is that happening? Did I hear that? No. He did that video. I was there at the State Farm Center. He can't leave now. Tennessee lost their quarterback because the quarterback won a $4.3 million. Can't pronounce his name either. He landed at UCLA, meaning there's going to be more NCAA football holdouts to get more money, just like the big boys. So is Tennessee talking to, that's pure rumor, but get off the phone, man. Get off the phone. Can you imagine, though, if Luke Altmaier's making $1 million or 1.5 or whatever the heck the number is at Illinois, he's making a lot his third year, and we need him. That's a big reason we're going to be ranked. And Tennessee has the audacity to come fishing for my quarterback? Yeah, that's how it works. And they could say, because SEC is going to have probably a little more money than me. Well, what if they said $3 million? Good golly. This is ridiculous. might have it, I don't know, but the rumor's crazy. Anyway, we're still looking for a few basketball players. Brad Underwood's not done. He's trying to piece together another guy, I can't pronounce his last name. Played at Stanford and Cal. That guy. 6'7". He can kind of Marcus Domasket go inside. Brother Johnny's jumped in.
Hey, Stevie J.
He's completing the
I like the weather today.
Sports here. Yeah, beautiful 74 for the high, according to meteorologist Greg Sawyer. You're going to check that here in just a second. I was just lamenting about how there's a buzz that perhaps Luke Altmaier, pure rumor, maybe he's got a call from Tennessee right now because they lost their quarterback. You just go there and just...
Well, you know what? Let's just...
You can't do that, man.
Roll with the punches.
He made a video. I was at State Farm at a basketball game when Luke said, I'm back, can't wait till next year, and everybody went ballistic. I don't know. But if he's making 1.5 and Tennessee says 3, what are you supposed to do with that? That's just crazy.
Well,
I don't know. The times we're living with sports in the college ranks, somebody told me they're quitting sports if Luke Altmaier takes more money. I don't know if it's even true. It's just on the street. It's on the street.
It's a capitalist economy. We have a mindset of trying to make the best return on your investment. And
I mean,
I you don't want to see people doing that, but it's hard to blame someone.
No, I know.
And then when you're talking in your early 20s, late teens, early 20s, it's first of all, it's an opportunity that will not occur again as far as your ability to play.
Oh, right.
We know that.
And if you have a smart, sensible entourage, can't $3 million kind of do it for you? You can take that money and probably be pretty good for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, if you are disciplined and smart, most people at that age aren't as disciplined as they need. But if they have a good mentor and some good people around them, it can change your whole life.
If you don't, you'll blow it in a year.
You could really have a whole new life because it gives you opportunities just having the capacity with money to do things.
Weather brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District. Visit them at urbanapark.org. Here's our meteorologist, Greg Solier.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign vicinity. Nice next couple of 2 or 3 days by and large. Developing warm front will keep most of the shower chances up to the north until Thursday into Friday. Some widespread moisture expected. Slight cool off for the weekend. Another bigger warm up and more wet weather ahead for next week. For this afternoon, turning mostly sunny and warmer. We'll see highs up to about 76 degrees on an increasing southeast to south wind. And later this morning up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee, maybe shower comes along. For tonight, an isolated shower chance here. After midnight, though, not as cool, low down to 53. Sunshine back in tomorrow. Mild southeast wind, and high at 78. Should top 80 on Thursday with a shower thunderstorm chance early, more likely later in the day. And a couple of showers and thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday. Will cool to the upper 60s. For the weekend, a bit of sunshine. Warming up to 77 next Monday. Into the lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms back into play. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Verizon's business is holding up better than expected. Its earnings topped forecasts, and it says it's still on course to meet its goals for the year, though sales from its business segment declined, and some customers are canceling phone contracts worried about a rise in inflation. GE Aerospace is reporting a better than expected quarter. Its forecast is optimistic. 3M is reporting upbeat earnings. It's standing by its forecast for the year, but says tariffs could cut into its current outlook. Vice President J.D. Vance, who is in India, says America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for trade negotiation. Stock futures are recovering ground after yesterday's sell-off on trade concerns and the president's threats to fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy podcast. Join me every Tuesday as we cover the full range of topics that are on your mind and speak with some brilliant, talented, thoughtful women and men who have excelled in their respective fields and careers. Plus, every Thursday is your turn. You get to be the lawyer and you get to ask the questions about whatever is foremost on your mind.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Great American on the line with me right now. His name is Terry Schilling, originally from the Quad Cities, now out in, well, near the swamp, but not of the swamp. President of American Principles Project, GOP strategist. I'm not sure you've ever met my brother Johnny. He's been a regular on my program since 1985. And he was responsible, key man in bringing Louisiana term limits in 1996-ish, Johnny, I think, is about that time. And so look at Louisiana now, reddest state in the union, 2/3 Republican all over the state. So anyway, he's on with me this morning. So this is Terry Schilling.
Hey, Terry.
Who's got man with a lot of sense. He has 7 children. Is that right? Is that the count?
Yeah, we're up to 7 so far, Stevie.
and your founder, I think, has 5, having his 5th or something. So you are doing a good job bringing in wonderful people to the world. Okay, so what is your whole read on the suspected MS gang member? The Democrats are down in El Salvador today trying to get a meeting. They have no idea where he even is. So you're traveling all the way to El Salvador. And you're going to talk on a microphone and say how egregious this is. First question I have for you, Terry Schilling, American Principles Project. They talked about due process. They said he had legal status here. Does this man, not being an American, get legal status? Does he get due process, or does he even get due process?
He's not a citizen. He's not here legally. He had a deportation order back in 2019. So not only did he overstay his original visa, he overstayed his deportation order. I mean, do you think about the amount of lawlessness? Like, imagine us doing this to any other country and how it would work out. They don't do this because they represent their people. They know that their laws are meant to protect their citizens, but their politicians in other countries, you can call them whatever you want, but they at least uphold the rule of law because they want to protect their citizens. But you look at here, Patty Morin is the mother of Rachel Morin. Rachel Morin was brutally raped and murdered by an MS-13 gang member, and she can't get the time of day from these people, these Democrats like Chris Van Hollen. Why is it that these guys flock to the criminals, the people that do the raping, the people that do the drug dealing? It's so criminal. It's so egregious. Stevie, I think the Democrats are walking into a serious trap here, because they think that this is like the 1990s I like how you put that. By the way, 1985 is 1 year before I was born.
That's bad. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Terry, for bringing that up. That's awesome.
But this isn't the 1990s where the legacy media controls the information that we are all able to get. We have the internet now, and the platforms that speak the most truth are the biggest ones now because people want truth. They're about to get a walloping going into this midterm. I really feel strongly that they're so out of touch with the American people. They're not going to get the gains that most out of power people get.
Well, I got to say, I'm glad to hear from Stevie that you have principles, because this is quite an opportunity to free agent over to the Democrats and be their strategist, because, Terry, they need a strategist. This strategy, somebody ought to get fired. I mean, they're going down for the rights of the a non-citizen who does not have constitutional rights, which, by the way, to me is shows signs of a really bigger problem, which is how much for granted we take the constitutional rights that we do have as citizens. But when we have leaders that try to protect someone who really doesn't have them and hasn't taken the Pledge of Allegiance, and we don't know whether we ever would, is crazy. And don't forget, and I hate to hit a nerve, but don't forget the January 6th people that were just taken in without any due process. These were American citizens. They didn't have the due process.
Yeah.
And some of them were just standing on the mall and were taken in. And
for like a year, 2 years.
Well, there's all kinds of cases, but no comment about any kind of constitutional rights or due process there, Terry. And here's this guy in Venezuela. It's insane.
Well, then why did the Supreme Court go 9-0 on facilitating his return? What was that about?
Yeah, tell us about that one, Terry. Is it some sort of clerical problem or something?
Yeah, I have no clue. I think, look, these judges are getting. First of all, the Supreme Court, I don't think that they upheld that he needed to be his return needed to be facilitated. I could be wrong in that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. How the Trump administration ruled is that these district court judges cannot interfere in foreign policy, that they cannot reverse a deportation or a deportation order. They have no right to do it. But look, I think that there's been a lot of misinformation about the Supreme Court ruling because the Trump team came down and were excited about it. 9-0 victory for them. So, look, at the end of the day, I trust nothing from the Democratic Party. This is the same party that tells little kids that men can have babies in school, right?
Go.
They teach them all this, and then they gaslight us and say that this isn't actually happening, and then we get the programs and the curricula, and we see it firsthand. So I just don't believe anything coming out of the legacy media or the Democrats. I think that order, that Supreme Court decision, actually was striking down the district court's interference into these situations. They have no right to do it. This guy had a deportation order in 2019. He was never supposed to be here.
All right, he's president of American Principles Project, GOP strategist Terry Schilling. I'm a fan of Newt Gingrich, have been for a long time. See if you guys agree with him.
I have never seen the Democratic Party this deranged. I mean, if you watch them, it's like they're looking around trying to find the weirdest, strangest things they can be for. And they're out there, I mean, give me a chance to be for males playing in girls' sports. Give me a chance to be for the most radical possible position on illegal immigration. Give me a chance to go out there and stand firmly for a whole series of ideas that nobody else in America wants. I mean, this is really remarkable, and it's almost like the party has lost its head.
Are they doing this because Trump is deporting this guy? I mean, if any other president were getting rid of guys like this, they probably wouldn't say anything. They definitely wouldn't be going to have margaritas in El Salvador with them. Is it just Trump derangement syndrome here?
I mean, part of it, to be fair, is that President Trump is probably the best modern politician at getting his opponents totally screwed up. He has some knack. I don't know how he does it, but he just intuits. If I do X, you're going to jump off the cliff and look like an idiot. So every morning he gets up and he thinks, oh, gee, I think I'll tweet something that guarantees they'll be crazy. And I would say 4 times out of 5, it works. And they go and do things, they're totally stupid. And they don't seem to get it. I mean, this is worse than Lucy with the football and peanuts. Remember, she used to always pull the football at the last minute? I mean, this is embarrassingly bad, and they don't seem to be able to get a grip on themselves.
Terry, thoughts?
No, I think he's exactly right. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. There's been some stories coming out about how Joe Biden deported a ton of people, and that Barack Obama deported a ton of people, and the Republicans are asking, well, why are we making a big deal about this one? It's exactly right. The reason we're making a big deal about this one is because the Democrats think that they can get away with it, that they can use it for their political benefit to start some turnaround. They're trying to scare people. They keep saying Maryland father. They keep trying to say that this is a Maryland father that was accidentally deported and that we need to get him back because he never should have been deported first. He's an illegal immigrant. He had a deportation order. He's MS-13. What are we talking about here? They're trying to turn this into a political movement, just like George Floyd, just like every other faked out, trumped up travesty that they take advantage of. This is no different.
Well, and I think they're running out of gas, Terry, but the midterms are really make or break for the progressives and maybe for us because we need to get them out of there. I'm starting to look fondly back on the old Democratic Party with Adlai Stevenson the boys. Because John Kennedy would be a Republican, I believe, just like his nephew, Robert F. Kennedy. But, I think they're wearing us out, and they call Elon Musk a Nazi, and they're just grasping at straws. And so I don't think it plays well in Peoria, Steve.
Speaking of how can it get worse? Look at the mayor of Chicago. Oh my gosh, it makes me want to go, Lori. I mean,
Lori. You're talking about the former mayor.
Because
we knew they may have jumped from the frying pan into the fire because that guy won, who was further left.
Brandon Johnson is like, he'll look at you with disdain if you ask a question. How dare you? I mean, it's nuts the level we can go. So here's James Carville has suggested that they split, that the progressives go their own way. And what do you think about that, Terry?
Oh, look, I think that it's going to be tough either way for the Democrats, right? And I think Carville's onto something. These woke progressives, they are killing their party, but they're 20 to 30% now, right? And the Democrats kind of fed them. They fed the fire, and now it's getting out of control. So now they're in a position where even if, let's say they split from the Democratic Party, it's about 20% of the Democratic Party believes things like men should be able to compete in girls' sports if they identify as a woman. They're going to lose 20% of their party. You can't win an election with that. But maybe that's how bad it needs to get for them in order to get back to a majority-run party. Right now, they aren't even close. Right now, they're trying to become like if George W. Bush, a neocon, that supports all these global wars and illegal immigration and no deporting even MS-13 members. If George W. Bush supported, men and girls sports or teaching little kids weird sex things in school, that's how bad their party is. It makes, and unlimited abortions paid for by tax dollars up until the moment of birth. That's what the Democratic Party stands for. They took all the unpopular positions of the Republican Party and adopted them, and now they have all the unpopular positions of the Democratic Party. It's crazy.
So you don't think that Bernie Sanders and AOC could have a ticket? And then they're up against J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, and the other one would be Joe Manchin and Harold Ford Jr. I mean, wouldn't somebody win with 38%?
I think the Republicans would, but at the end of the day, you have to have a governing caucus and a governing majority, and I think that ticket would split right in the middle. I think that AOC and Bernie Sanders would get probably around 30%. But I think the least vote getting ticket on there would be the Manchin Ford ticket.
Well,
and that's where the Democrats kind of have to try to end up. But you're right; it's going to be a long road to hoe.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's going to work with Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom's talking like they're moving to the center because I don't think we trust them.
Well, just look at the results. I mean, my goodness, it's nuts. Terry, how can people find you at American Principles Project?
Just check us out online. We're the NRA, but for families. So we protect parental rights in the instance of children. It's at AmericanPrinciplesProject.org, or you can find me across every social media channel at Schilling, 1776. SCHILLING, 1776.
I think with 7 children, there should be some background natural noise right now.
I can get that for you guys.
I don't know why you're not in a closet or something. Just to.
I actually am in a closet right now.
I thought
That's
so.
not a joke.
No, I thought so because the natural sound. I love it. That's awesome. Terry Schilling, always a pleasure, my friend.
All right, nice meeting you, Terry.
Nice job.
Thanks, guys.
That's appreciated. Terry Schilling out near Washington. I think he's in Virginia. ESPN 93.5. All right, I have this thing I want to mention about how we spend our time. 1930, how did we spend our time? It's all broken down. And how do we spend our time in 2025, nearly 100 years later? Pretty interesting, actually. Here we go. We'll do that next.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. 3 days of public viewing of Pope Francis begins Wednesday. Fox's CB Cotton outside St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan.
There will be a noon mass held today to honor the late pontiff who visited this same cathedral nearly 10 years ago. And last night, the Empire State Building had its tower lights shining in gold and white.
A funeral in Rome, 4 a.m. Eastern Saturday. President Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump will attend the ceremony. Pope Francis dying Monday at the age of 88. The White House defending Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
The White House is also blaming some negative press involving Hegseth on recently dismissed DOD staffers and have denied reports that the administration is searching for a replacement for Hegseth.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The New York Times quoting 4 sources that Hegseth used the Signal messaging app began to reveal so-called war plans to people close to him. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A Champaign County Sheriff's deputy charged with exceeding theft of $10,000 in a fundraising scandal for the 1078 Foundation. ISP Division of Criminal Investigation Zone 5 issued a notice to appear in Champaign County for 40-year-old Matthew Stuckey for theft of over $10,000. Established in 1987 by the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, Alcohol Awareness Month is this month and has become a way for the community to support those affected by or dealing with alcoholism. Alcohol Awareness Month aims to raise awareness about the dangers of excessive alcohol consumption through activities, events, and educational materials. A discussion about cuts to the medical community at Carle Foundation Hospital in Urbana Friday. It was between medical providers and Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski, who focused on possible Medicaid cuts and how that could impact patients. The president there says they're waiting clarity on what Medicaid cuts could look like. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
And thank you, Jim. We check our weather with our meteorologist, Greg Solier, brought to you this morning by Kramer's Siding and Window.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity. Warm front will be pressing to the north over the next 24 hours, and with it, some shower prospects up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee. We'll see that later on this morning and this afternoon there, but here, partly to mostly sunny. Southeast to south wind kicks in and a high at about 76. Not as cool tonight. Could be a shower north of Champaign after midnight tonight. Low down to 53 tomorrow. Mostly sunny. Mild southeast wind will stay light at 78. A little more humidity. Partly sunny. Warm at 82 on Thursday. A couple of showers around later morning. More so for the afternoon. And showers and thunderstorms in here for Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday. Will cool things off for the weekend. Some short-term drying as well with upper 60s. Back into the upper 70s Monday. Lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms are back into play as well all 3 days with perhaps some heavy rainfall prospects too in the next 5 to 10 days. We'll keep you posted right here for Stevie J Broadcasting. I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Always liked Ann and Nancy Wilson, Heart.
Oh, that's probably my favorite group.
Yeah. I was, Jan and I actually went to that concert. It was at this assembly hall back in the day. It was too loud. And Janet's hearing, but it was ringing, but they were so clean, so good at singing. All right, ESPN 93.5, Diane's got the day off. Brother Johnny's along. I am Stevie J. Glad you're listening. 20 before 8. We'll call our veterinarian friend, Dr. Todd, here in just a few minutes and talk a little about doggies and cats. Some 217 textures on the Fisher National Bank text line at 217-359-2255. What are they saying, Johnny?
Well, a Muhammad listener points out that Tennessee and UCLA essentially just traded quarterbacks. Luke isn't going
All right, because
anywhere.
I'd mentioned on the street,
He's not going
I've heard that
anywhere.
Tennessee's calling my quarterback. Stop it. Stop it. And I don't know. Probably a rumor, I hope.
And then Megan from Savoy says, I think if the progressive split or if they split up with the Democrats, there would be more Republicans leaning towards Democrats just to get away from Trump.
You said that.
I've said that. I've said there's a lot of those in the middle
Yeah.
that at least realize, okay, we got two choices. These guys on the left are out. Who's left? Okay, that's it. And maybe some of them don't even vote, but they're not going to vote for what the progressives are dishing out. I think there is some place for Joe Manchin and Harold Ford Jr.
Well, I mean, if you Harold Ford Jr., Johnny.
Especially Harold Ford Jr. is young enough to grow that segment back into a dominant party.
He was a congressman for a number of years in Tennessee. Wouldn't he be in his 50s? It's so young these days.
He's young. Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
younger than that. But I don't know. I just think he's very reasoned.
Well, because it would be almost like the old days of, no, I disagree with that, but you could talk to him.
And also he's kind of on board with Newt as far as the top 10 of what they're putting out. He's like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
What about A, B, C, the real issues we can deal with and work and that make more sense to focus on? Our government focusing on some of the things they're focused on is a complete waste of time and money.
Well, would he ever run, I wonder?
Well, Greg Gutfield keeps goading him into it, but I don't know. So they like the idea of having, two parties.
Yeah, right.
And
he'd never win a primary as constructed now. I mean, the left is
and
too far.
I got to tell you, I don't believe that any particular person could ever bring down the country. Right now, we're just too powerful, too many, a 39-year-old AOC president. That could do it. Wow. And so I don't think they can get her in. So
I mean, fair or unfair, the sound of her voice is also just a unique sound that does not lend itself to gravitas.
I don't know about that. I think she's
it's
very charismatic and attractive to a whole group of people. And she's just blabbering. What she's talking about is
she might be a genius, but she doesn't sound smart.
Quick example, when Amazon was going to put a big center in New York, she really fought it and actually rose up a movement against it.
Yeah.
And because even though Amazon would generate $30 billion of revenue for the city of New York in taxes, they gave them a 10% break for $3 billion. And she wanted the $3 billion to go to the schools. Well, Amazon said, fine, we're not going there. And then she announced that they could now use the $3 billion for the schools. Honey, there's no $3 billion. There's no $30 billion. There's no 27. There's nothing. No jobs, nothing. And that's, I think she actually ran for Congress because being a barista was too complicated.
Okay, so she's from like the Starbucks region of baristas who knows how to make a good latte.
And it is complicated. You got the latte, you got any room for cream, you got this and that.
I mean, the dream ticket, I guess, would be Kamala and Tim Walz again, maybe.
That was about as good as it gets for the Republicans.
Right. All right, 217-359-2255. How people spent their time from 1930 to 2024. I'm going to give you the categories. You tell me what you would prioritize as the top three, and then we'll track that through time. Okay, so the list includes family, school, friends, neighbors, church, bars and restaurants, college, and coworkers. So the list again: family, school, friends, neighbors, church, bar, restaurants, college, and coworkers.
I'm going to say church, family, work.
Okay.
And school's right there with it.
All right. So we'll track those.
Not so much in the 30s. So church, family, work.
Church, family, work. All right. So in 1930, we spent 23% of our time with family. Okay. 1930. We didn't have television. Radio had just started. School was 22%. And what was your other one?
I said work and church.
Okay, church was 10% of our time was spent with.
How does that rate with the rest of it?
Well, here's
the top three.
Here's the 1930, 22% family, 22% school, and 19% friends. We had neighbors we knew.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then you had neighbors, 11%. Church was 10%. Bars, restaurants was 8%. College was 4%. Co-workers was 3%. Online, of course, was nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 1932 is how we spent our time. Now let's fast forward, and we'll go all the way to 1950, post-World War II. And remember those numbers of where we spent our time. 1950, it's 23% friends that goes ahead of family. Then it was 20% family. Church went from 10 down to 6 in the 18 years. And I guess work, you said, co-workers, 6%.
And school was high.
School was 17, down from 20.
But still high.
Still high. All right, now we fast forward from 1950, when most of you were not born. And now we'll zoom up to 1970 and see where our priorities were. Well, again, it started the age of the computer just a little bit. So this is 1972. Friends vaulted to 26%.
Huh.
Family is down to 16% of our time spent there. We're talking about school was down to 12%. Church went from 10 down to 5. 5% at church. So from 1972, as we advance forward, church kind of stays steady for the next few decades. As we vault ahead, we'll go to 1990, where people spent their time from 1930 to 2024. Friends is 26, co-workers 15, bars and restaurants 14, family down to 13%. So now we're losing some of the time with the family.
What's church there, 5?
Church is held at 5.5. As we fast forward for 1992, now you were all born, probably all born. We go up to one more stop here, 2006. Friends are 26, co-workers are 13, bars and restaurants are 12, online 11. Online has made its presence known by 2006. Online is 11% of my time spent there. Family is down to 10. Church is just at 5 barely. And finally, remember that online number.
Well, no, it's going to be number 1, and then you've got the bars and restaurants are probably high, and church has probably slipped down.
Well, let's take a look at the final as we go to 21, 22, and then the final number is 24, if I get it stopped. It's just a really interesting thing. Online, 61%. Okay. That's how we're spending our time. 60% of our time is with a phone, an iPad, a computer, and that's so that's number 1 by a lot. And then we go to friends, 13. So 61 to 13.
So even your friends are disappearing.
Yeah, they are. Co-workers are 8%. Bars, restaurants are 4%. Family is 4.5%.
No, that's...
Wow.
Where did church go, Steve?
2.
So I think that sums it up. We're not going to be as healthy. We won't enjoy life as much. And you might say, oh, yeah, he doesn't know how he does. I think there's a lot more out there.
There's a lot that's telling in this chart that we have. Okay.
And I think the number 1 problem, there's the 2% for church. You have to have, remember it was God, family, country?
Yeah, yes.
And so maybe it was God, country, family, maybe it was, but the top 3 were kind of more of a I don't know.
Well, we're not meant to be isolated.
Less self-centered.
The damage done by COVID is going to be a long process.
Just, I think it's more online. 61%, you're isolated.
Yeah,
you think you're in touch with the world, but it's just you. And the friends, how much did those friends go down?
They went from 26 to 12.
And then the family.
Yeah, that's just...
Well, we've seen the family.
Yeah,
it's
right.
so. You remember when we used to sit at the table for dinner?
Yep.
That was pretty much a thing in the 60s, and very good. And it may not have been that fun, but you were all together as a family.
Yes.
And you knew each other.
Yeah.
And it was a priority for the parents to say, we're going to all eat together.
So how many people today gather for one meal a day together?
Well, I tell you, that's a good question.
I wonder how many.
Not as many.
Yeah.
Not as many, Stevie.
We're going to check your weather. We got our veterinarian friend, Dr. Todd Likens. He's coming up next. Our ESPN 93.5, Brother Johnny. I'm Stevie J. Diane's off today. Weather this morning, Brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Kurt and State Farm are there. Here's Greg.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign event this Saturday. Nice next couple of 2 or 3 days by and large. Developing warm front will keep most of the shower chances up to the north until Thursday into Friday. Some widespread moisture expected. Slight cool off for the weekend. Another bigger warm up and more wet weather ahead for next week. For this afternoon, turning mostly sunny and warmer. We'll see highs up to about 76 degrees on an increasing southeast to south wind. And later this morning, up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee, maybe shower comes along. For tonight, an isolated shower chance here. After midnight, though, not as cool, low down to 53. Sunshine back in tomorrow. Mild southeast wind, and high at 78. Should top 80 on Thursday with a shower thunderstorm chance early, more likely later in the day. And a couple of showers and thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday. Will cool to the upper 60s. For the weekend, a bit of sunshine. Warming up to 77 next Monday. Into the lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms back into play. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Ultras, Greg Solier.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Preventative care is a key factor in maintaining your overall health. Don't delay your health care. If you haven't already scheduled your annual wellness checkup and any recommended screenings and immunizations, do it today. Christie Clinic primary care physicians have same-day appointments available. Talk to a Christie Clinic physician about important screenings and immunizations. You don't want to delay. Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Race weekend, April 24th through the 26th. Illinois Marathon.com.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best. Visit PDR Automotive in Urbana today, family-owned and operated for more than 50 years. They're what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Sarah Champagne's been Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheeseburgers, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like, if I'm eating steak, you're eating steak. We both eat steak, we both eat hamburger.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com.
At F&B Wealth Management, it's not just about numbers, it's about people and communities. Hi, I'm Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank and F&B Wealth Management. Our team is united by a shared passion for helping you achieve your financial goals. We are equipped and eager to work together to craft personalized financial solutions just for you, including retirement planning, risk management through life insurance, long-term care insurance planning, and investment advisory services. Together, we will celebrate milestones, navigate life's transitions, and build a financial future that reflects your values. Experience the difference of a team that truly cares. Visit investwithfnb.com to learn more about dedicated advisors and start your journey toward a financial confidence today.
F&B Wealth Management is a division of Fisher National Bank. F&B securities are not insured by the FDIC, not a deposit or other obligation of or guaranteed by the depository institution. Subject to investment risks, including possible loss of the principal amount invested. Securities, insurance, and investment advisory services are offered through Midwestern Securities Trading Company, LLC, MSTC, member FINRA, SIPC. MSTC and F&B are not affiliated.
F&B Wealth Management, supporting exceptional communities full of exceptional people.
And Dr. Todd Likens has jumped on. Madison Kirby in Champaign, the pet pro veterinarian. So what is tularemia?
Oh, it's our annual rites of spring type disease that comes up. Mainly, the public health department put out an alert on it because it can go to people too. So people need to be aware. And it's an organism that we see commonly in rabbits and squirrels, and they get it, and it's in the fleas and ticks. But the dangers they're seeing right now is there's a lot of squirrels dying in Urbana, is what I understand. And so it's going to be very easy for kitties to get this as well. Most of the time, the kitties get very sick and can die from it as well. It can be treated with an antibiotic, so it is treatable, but you got to catch it too.
Symptoms? What are you talking about? I mean, what do they look like? What do they feel?
High fevers. It can be neurologic signs too. But mainly, what I see, they don't feel well, and you'll know to bring them in. But people should not be touching dead animals in their yard, and possibly reporting. I think the public health announcement said, tell animal control if you got a lot of dead rabbits or dead squirrel type things going on.
I've never even heard of that. Tularemia? Is that how you say it?
Tularemia.
Tularemia. Okay, tularemia.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like that word a lot.
Watch your dogs and cats on this for sure. Then dead animals in your yard.
For sure.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was one year. On the old days, I used to tease my classmates because I was the only one that had diagnosed it back in the old days. But evidently, we're kind of a little hotbed here in Champaign-Urbana for it. So
well, good tip, I guess, to keep your eyes out. What about creams?
I was just telling you, it's like right now I know of no creams that are available, English creams.
Oh, I got you. Okay, that was that your nickname for your English cream, Johnny. My brother Johnny's here.
Yeah,
the white Goldens are just off the charts.
Yeah,
and is that anybody else? You were the first in Illinois to breed these dogs, right?
No, as far as we know, yeah, we were in very, very early.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we couldn't even. There was one breeder in California, but we didn't like the way they did it, and we couldn't find breeders in the United States. And so we had to go to Europe, and then we had to convince them we were good people. So that was kind of wild back in the day.
They're just remarkable animals, and you've got a herd at your house. In fact, I'm going to show you this picture of Gina, his wife, surrounded by the 17 dogs, and they're all attentive.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better audience. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm doing an interview with you, and Gina's doing an interview with her dogs downstairs to keep them quiet. So they're all
right. No, it is truly remarkable, the eye contact of the English cream. It really, really is. And I want to show if I can find it.
They must be intelligent. Are they intelligent?
Oh yeah, really.
Oh yeah, very intelligent. We work with them from. We like to say we run a Montessori program when they're little. We have so many toys here. I mean, honest to God, we have boxes of toys. And they like music toys when they're little. They'll play music toys and puzzle games, and we just get that little brain going right off the bat.
You think I mean, seriously, 6, 7, 8 years old, that kind of a reasoning intellect kind of thing?
That's what I've read. I think it's higher in our kids.
Wow.
Yeah, she's teaching them right now. She's teaching them who wants a banana, and see all the dogs come to get a bite of banana in the mornings now. That's a new word for them.
Good sodium potassium intake there. That's good news. But they'll still dig to China on your lot, right?
Yeah, haven't figured out how to stop that yet.
Hey,
matter of fact, we had a little Easter bunny crisis this weekend with us. Bunnies should not have babies in our yard.
No, bad move. Hey, listen, how do people reach you, Dr. Todd?
Hey, 217-355-5051. Texting is the way to go.
You got it, my friend. Hey, thank you. Talk soon.
All right. See you guys.
It's Dr. Todd Likens, a pet pro veterinarian, Madison, Kirby, and Champaign.
Well, Stevie, I got a text that's interesting about the family and what we spend our time on. But Butch said, I read an article years ago that the invention of air conditioning destroyed the neighborhood family. Prior to that, people would sit in the front yard under the tree for a breeze, having lemonade and meet their neighbors. And the reason that strikes me, he's right on, because when it snowed 8 inches in New Orleans, no one could go anywhere. I met more of my neighbors in that 3 days than I had met since probably I moved there. But you couldn't go anywhere.
It was like 4 months ago, it snowed 8 inches in New Orleans, and the kids, your grandkids went out and made snowmen. They'd never done that in New Orleans.
No. And so we couldn't, bridges were closed. You could not.
Nothing.
No Walmart.
But you met people.
No Walgreens. No post office. No bank. So there wasn't. Yeah, so everybody was kind of out because it came out. It was kind of like today, and
we can't go back, right? There's no.
No. But that's the interesting.
Yeah.
Air conditioning kept people.
But you knew your
indoors.
neighbors back in the day.
Right. Well, the people weren't inside as much.
We knew every basketball court in Philo growing up that we'd go play a game on inexplicably without asking. We played basketball on people's. We're going to break for the news. Good to have you listening. 217-359-2255. It's Tuesday, April 22nd at 8 o'clock. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The defense secretary defends himself. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is what it's all about, trying to get at President Trump and his agenda.
Pete Hegseth calling controversy around his Signal group chats leaks, trying to create problems, and he just told Fox.
What was shared over Signal, then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations.
In the chats, Hegseth was discussing U.S. military strikes last month in Yemen. Fox's Alexandria Hoffs at the White House.
The New York Times cited 4 anonymous sources in their reporting, and that is really what Secretary Hegseth has taken issue with. Those sources claim that at the same time that an Atlantic reporter was mistakenly included on that Signal group chat, which has been widely reported, Secretary Hegseth was involved in a second one that involved his wife, brother, and several others.
Some Democrats call on Hegseth to resign. They'll move Pope Francis's casket today to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, and tomorrow a public viewing will begin, and then...
The Vatican has announced the funeral mass of Pope Francis will begin this Saturday at 10 a.m. local time. That's 4 a.m. Eastern. It will take place, as expected, in front of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City. World leaders will be in attendance, including President Donald Trump.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The Pope died at age 88, suffering a stroke that led to heart failure. Cardinals will select his replacement in the coming weeks. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who caused controversy with recent comments about autism, wants to get more additives out of our food with a new plan
to phase out petroleum-based synthetic dyes in the U.S. food supply. Now, these dyes are used in brightly colored cereals, drinks, and candies, and the move will bring the U.S. closer in line with Europe, which has already banned or heavily restricted these dyes over health concerns.
That's Fox's Brooks Singman. Harvard is suing the Trump administration, calling unlawful freezing its federal grants, trying to get the university to change policies to deal with alleged anti-Semitism on campuses in the pro-Palestinian protests. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
5 years ago, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat, was famous for his daily COVID updates as the pandemic hit New York City hardest in the U.S. He sometimes sparred with President Trump over how to deal with the coronavirus. Some of Cuomo's policies back then while he was governor remain under scrutiny in Congress.
The chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, sending a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi accusing former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of lying to a House panel investigating the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. A subcommittee made criminal referrals last Congress to the Biden administration-led DOJ, which looked into decision-making that led to a number of excess COVID deaths in nursing homes. Cuomo's attorneys have called the committee's efforts political and meritless. The former governor is currently the frontrunner to be the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Now, since COVID hit in 2020, millions of Americans who defaulted on federal student loan debt have not had to make payments. Well, that's going to change. The Education Department plans to resume collections next month. Karen Reed is on trial again in Massachusetts, where opening statements will soon begin this morning in a high-profile case involving the death of her boyfriend, a Boston cop.
Less than a year after Karen Reed's first trial ended in a hung jury, her retrial is getting underway. Jury selection wrapped up a week ago and took 10 days to seat 9 women and 9 men out of the nearly 600 people who were screened. 12 of those jurors will deliberate the charges against Reed, which are manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of a crash. Reed is accused of hitting her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV in January 2022 and leaving him in a snowstorm where he died. Her attorneys say she was framed. The judge in the case says the retrial could take 6 to 8 weeks. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after another big plunge for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A street closure goes into effect in Champaign today in order to complete a sanitary sewer connection at 512 West White Street. DNS Sewer Company is closing the westbound lane of White Street just east of Lynn Street. The lane will reopen on or before April 27. Drive safe in construction zones. Champaign County Sheriff's Deputy charged with theft exceeding $10,000 in a fundraising scandal for the 1078 Foundation. ISP Division of Criminal Investigations Zone 5 special agents issued a notice to appear in Champaign County on May 22nd to 40-year-old Matthew Stuckey. For Wisconsin people dead, it follows a plane crash in Trilla, Illinois. State police say it happened Saturday when a single-engine plane went down 3 miles south of Mattoon in Coles County. The coroner there identified the victims as Ross Nelson, Ramey Rundle, Courtney Morrow, and Michael Morrow. All the victims were from Menominee, Wisconsin. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. ESPN 93.5. It is 8:06. That means our meteorologist, Greg Solier. Right on time. How are you, sir?
Yep. Good morning again. How are
we? Can't
you,
get
sir?
We can't get lulled to sleep, can we? We can't get thinking this is summer, right?
No. And like I said, and I will continue to say in the days and weeks to come, when you think you are able to get out there and support heavy equipment, yard work, whatever, don't wait for me to give you the permission slip to go, because we're just going to be dancing around rains here for the foreseeable future. But yeah, milder, warmer, summer-like, perhaps it's at times around here. I'll take that.
Yeah, you betcha. And we'll be happy to welcome some 70s. And I see maybe a peak at 80 next week or something like that. Wow.
Well, yeah, as early as Thursday, and after just a modest cool off, none of these real cold air masses where you got to stoke up the furnace again, and we got frost and freeze concerns, none of that. Back to seasonal norms for the weekend, and then bigger and better next week.
Yeah, I like it, Greg. Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
This is good. Johnny
So Brother Johnny has finally brought that warm
finally.
from New Orleans northward.
He was just showing me all the temperatures of where he generally goes, and it was all 79, clear and blue skies, and here it was windy. And
as far as my influence on the weather during my stay here, Greg, I'm giving myself an F-.
Oh, now come on, you're being a little too harsh on yourself there, sir.
Weather brought to you by Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. Okay, meteorologist Greg Solier, talk to me.
Yeah, well, we've got readings here around the Philo, Sydney area, about 47, 48 degrees, 51 over in the old downtown Willard and Savoy Airport District and northward from there. And so pretty comfortable April morning across the area. There are some showers and some mid-level clouds making their way through the northern end of the state. Conceivable maybe up through northern Ford here, Coy County might see some of that as the day wears on. Otherwise, the next system, kind of a weak cool front will come through the area. Ahead of it, an early summer-like feel. Behind it, back to more seasonal norms. No shortage of rainfall with that system, nor anything coming our way for next week. But offset, we hope, by days with a number of rain-free hours. Warm temperature readings, putting that warmth into the soils. Folks at the Water Survey saying mid to upper 50s have been the average temperatures. Once we can get to 60, it becomes a little more promising to begin some corn and soybean planting. Soil moisture levels appropriate enough to support that heavier equipment, which will be the challenge this springtime season. So that said, mostly sunny for the day today. Southeast to south breezes pick up. 76 the forecast high. Maybe a couple of drops of rain north of Champaign tonight, down to 53. Tomorrow mostly sunny, mild, 78. 50s tomorrow night, and then into around the lower 80 degree range. 82 on Thursday. Fleeting shower late late morning, better chance later in the day. Showers and thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday with a couple of rounds. Mid-70s there. We'll cool to the upper 60s. That's average for this point in April. Over the weekend, then a warm-up next week, accompanied by each day scattered showers and thunderstorms. 77 next Monday. Lower 80s return next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. You the man, meteorologist Greg Solier. We got the Illinois Marathon, the Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon. That is coming up this weekend. And there'll be a lot of people in town. We want to welcome them, be nice and friendly, and all those great things. Village of Savoy has got it going on. The village president, the mayor, who just won the election, is John Brown. Do you want to say hi, John?
Hello.
And Larry Canford, the greatest photographer in the world, is in our studio. He has taken images, best-selling calendar for 1 million years, and I still look at something and think it's Canford time. Larry, you look good.
Thank you.
Get the camera on you. I got the camera on you now.
Nice bright spring day.
Actually, you're kind of off center. Where'd that go?
Well, I'm behind the camera.
That's right. There you go. Larry Canford's here, and then over here is John Brown. Nice to see both of you here. So what is this marathon in Savoy that comes through, but you guys aren't satisfied to just say it's the Illinois Marathon in Champaign-Urbana and Savoy? You got stuff.
It is nice to have it in town, and last year was the first year that Savoy was included, and last year we had, I kind of appointed Larry Camphor and Michelle Mangian Heather Mangian, I don't know where I came up with Michelle, but to kind of spearhead our efforts for the village, and figured Larry could explain some of that.
Well,
we
Larry,
this year.
Well, I mean, Village Savoy is popping. What it used to be, about 1,000 people. How many you got now? 8?
It's close to 9,000, actually.
Yes.
People are flocking to Savoy.
Yeah, we were so excited to have the marathon come through, so we wanted to kind of make it a village event.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the issues about Savoy is people don't think of it as a village, but the people in the village know that it's a great community. It's supportive, and so one of the things we want to do is kind of help gel that.
Mm-hmm.
And so people come out, they meet their neighbors, they cheer on the runners, and we did a number of things last year.
Yeah, the events. I think Diane had a bunch of speaker stuff out there talking to people. Yeah,
we had a balloon arch, and this year we've got we're trying to top ourselves. We've got 4 bands. We've got a strolling barbershop going down the walk, and the Centennial Drumline. They're going to be going down the pathway along with the runners.
It's the latter part of the race for marathoners, so this is needed. The energy is needed there at that point, mile 20 or 24.
Right. It's just past the wall, so you hit the wall,
right,
and then you have lots of different things going on. And I think one of the biggest things is to get the Savoy residents and others to come out and cheer on the runners.
Where does Savoy start? I think it's down near Park Lane or something. I mean, where does Savoy start, and how you go past Walmart, right?
Well, it depends on where you're at. Now, along Route 45, it starts at Windsor and goes south to Monticello Road.
That's all Savoy?
That's all Savoy.
Wow. And you have the airport and everything. Why don't you take over the airport? How about that? I'm sorry. I digress. Okay, so if you go down Prospect and Curtis, right at Prospect Curtis Road, and that sidewalk's a big stretch.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, right?
Right, and that's our Rupel path. We have so many paths that people don't even know about it through Savoy.
Yeah.
They're because they kind of back behind the streets and all, and so they're coming down Prospect, entering. They hit the New Orleans Jazz Machine band. We've got a bouncy house. The neighbors coming out, Windsor of Savoy coming out. They're going to be out there cheering on the runners with signs, and then we've got a giant video wall that welcomes runners and encourages them to move along.
The heck kind of town is Savoy? You guys are awesome. That's fun.
Band.
It's awesome.
Bubble City Playboys. It's a pretty well-known band.
Bubble City Playboys. All right.
I mean, we really want it to become a community event, something the community can rally behind and make it that festive atmosphere that people want to come out to. So And that's a beautiful section of the race going down that path and with the open fields.
No, I'm telling you, having done one of these, 20 to 24 would have been great to have a band and energy. And then when you make the turn and you're going 2 more miles, it'll feel like 100. But you're leaving Savoy in good shape and you're headed to the finish line.
Well, the wind
huge.
last year was
south,
coming from the south.
Yeah.
And so you get to Savoy Rec Center, the band, everything, and then you turn, and then it's all downhill from there.
You turn at
and not really downhill.
Right, I get it. No, it's flat, but you turn at the old post office, as I recall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just before the post office. Yeah. On Wesley.
Okay, on Wesley. That's correct. Wesley, you go all the way down to something. All the way down to Curtis again?
Curtis and across to Regency.
Yeah.
Where Diane Ducey will be out there with her
microphone.
Yeah, and her music.
I'm so glad we could get her out. She never does this. Just joking. Anyway, what else do you want people to know about your town, John?
Well, we just have a lot going on. And Larry's sporting our new, I guess for lack of a better word, logo for the village.
Let's see it. Well, that's
Looks
cool.
pretty nice.
Who did that?
Surface 51.
Okay, good people. I know them. Yeah.
So we've
Kinda
got
cool.
it's a logo based on a lot of it has to do with our movement.
Yeah.
We're a moving community. It's kind of like landing. Land here. That's the airport, and this is our new tagline.
Glad you're here. How about that?
It's not too bad, and Larry played a major role in helping us design that, being the artist of the group of the trustees.
He knows all about artists. Yeah.
And I think also with the tagline and our logo, we're trying to do what Johnny was talking about earlier. You don't know your neighbor until something happens.
Yeah.
We're trying to get that.
No, I think
everyone knows their neighbor.
You're working hard at all
whether
that
you
stuff.
go out for an event like this or other.
Yeah. No, it's great. And so Savoy is just continuing its growth. I mean, it really is. 9,000.
Yeah, we have a lot of big projects. The underpass at Curtis Road, hope that still continues.
Oh, we're doing that? With the train?
With the train.
When's
that's awesome.
That's going to take me a while to dig that.
That
right? I mean,
initially that was scheduled to be bid out for construction this November, but because of when you're having a project that large, you have the ICC, the Illinois Department of Transportation, the railroad, all to deal with, and it kind of delays things. So we're looking at another year.
It would take 2 years to build? Or how long is that going to take?
About 2 years.
Yeah, all right, so I'm just going to have to go past. I can't go across it for a couple of years at Curtis eventually.
Well, I think during the last 4 years, when President Brown was here, he got all these things going, like the downtown. We're going to build a new downtown out of nothing.
Where's that going to be?
Not a new downtown, a downtown.
A downtown where?
Yes.
Across from the grain elevator.
Okay.
At Church and Route 45, the village owns some property there that we're going to have developed into a downtown area.
What's your property tax rate over there? Pretty good? Better than Champaign-Urbana?
I think 0.72.
What is it in Champaign
per 100?
Higher. I think it's higher.
It's considerably higher.
Anyway, good job. How can people get into information about the marathon and where do I stand and all that, Larry?
Well, they could go to the Illinois Marathon website.
Okay.
And our website, savoy.illinois.gov. And basically be out there 9:30. From 9:30 to 12:30 is about when the runners will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And
Christian's
it's the route
run.
from down Prospect straight to the rec center and back on Wesley.
We were down there last year, and so I'll
meet
be
your
looking.
neighbor, meet your friends, bring your lawn chairs.
President Brown, thank you. Mayor Brown, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
guess either is appropriate to call you either.
Either one.
Okay.
Either one.
Well, congratulations on your win at the in the last election.
Well, thank you.
And Larry, always a pleasure, my friend. Superstar Larry Canfor. You still taking any pictures for me or not?
Yeah,
a little here and there. You're kind of in retirement.
This is the first place I've been that I don't see one of his pictures on the wall.
Where's my? No, I got him over there.
There you
I haven't
go,
put him up.
Yeah.
I got him. It's been 3 years. I haven't put it
check
up.
back in 10 years.
Yeah, check back in a few years. We'll get that going for sure. No, I love Larry Canfor.
I'll take your picture anyway.
Okay, thank you. That's right on his phone. Yeah, that'd be bad image. I'm on radio for a reason, Larry. Larry Canford, John Brown, Savoy. They're going to be doing it right for the Illinois Marathon, the Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon, which is coming up this weekend, Saturday for the marathon. Okay, and my son Christian will be running in it, so we're excited. Check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier at 8:19.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Florida. Champaign this Saturday. Warm front will be pressing to the north over the next 24 hours, and with it, some shower prospects up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee. We'll see that later on this morning and this afternoon there, but here, partly to mostly sunny. Southeast to south wind kicks in, and a high at about 76. Not as cool tonight. Could be a shower north of Champaign after midnight tonight, low down to 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, mild southeast wind will stay light at 78. A little more humidity, partly sunny, warm at 82 on Thursday. A couple of showers around later morning, more so for the afternoon. And showers, thunderstorms in here for Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday will cool things off for the weekend. Some short-term drying as well, with upper 60s back into the upper 70s Monday. Lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms are back into play as well all 3 days, with perhaps some heavy rainfall prospects too in the next 5 to 10 days. We'll keep you posted right here. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are gaining ground after yesterday's sell-off. Verizon shares are down 2.5%. Its earnings topped expectations. However, more customers than expected ended their phone contracts in recent months because of concerns about inflation. Kimberly-Clark says sales declined in its recent quarter, though that's because the cost of items declined. Kimberly-Clark says U.S. consumers have seen some price relief in grocery and general merchandise stores, but it anticipates more pressures ahead. Swiss pharma giant Roche says it will invest $50 billion in the U.S. over 5 years. It plans to create more than 12,000 jobs. Roche didn't mention tariffs in its announcement, though Switzerland is facing a 31% charge on exports to the U.S. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jen Coselda, invested in you.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. Listen and follow the Fox News Hourly Update at foxnewspodcasts.com or ask your smart speaker to play Fox News.
Next week on an all-new Law and Order. Order! We convene here for case 217, Spring Green versus Weeds. Spring Green, the floor is yours.
The weeds are infectious. The weeds steal the beauty from your lawn. We offer personalized lawn care, a mid-season checkup, and a simple and transparent process. Just click on to spring-green.com for a quote.
Okay, Spring Green wins. Weeds, you're out.
That's spring-green.com.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do that.
Yeah.
And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these orange comfort clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. You know, truth is in seeing it.
Yeah.
We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out, I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
All right, Tim, Gale Ferrex Trucking, looking for drivers at all?
Yeah, we're going to do a little push here. And until we get the trucks full, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute our $4,000 sign-on bonus for the month of April. So I can guarantee the first 2 guys that come in are going to get that. Now, after that, that will fill up the trucks, and I don't know what we'll have to reevaluate then, but we'll carry that through either till the end of April or till the trucks are filled up.
To the person listening, Tim, what did they do to get this $4,000 signing bonus in case they'd like to act on that?
They can email me at timo@gftlog.com. They can call my office at 765-793-7131. They can drop by Dedicated Diesel in Urbana at 1313 Triumph Drive and see Mandy, and she can get them the paperwork and get them in touch with me.
ESPN 93.5, I'm Stevie J. Brother Johnny's hanging out. Diane's got the day off. Good to have John Brown and Larry Canfer in our studio. Exciting Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon this weekend. All right, so Justin Thomas, the golfer, won this last weekend.
And he got second at the Masters, didn't he? No, that was Justin Rose.
Yeah, Justin Rose.
Okay, Justin Thomas. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Justin Thomas. So when you see these people as they lean over a putt on the last hole, his went to sudden death. So you're leaning over the putt, and you know how they look. I actually know now what his heartbeat was when he's looking at a 21-foot putt to win.
Okay.
So he looks calm, and the normal heart rate is, 50 to 90 maybe, depending on beats per minute. And if you're really, really, really working out, you're going to go much higher. Or on running, sprinting, whatever would bring your heart rate up. So here is Justin Thomas, as calm as he was looking, and Jim Nantz on the sudden death hole.
This one, again, 21 feet. Is it the winning putt? Here it comes! Yes, it is!
He won with a 21-foot putt on the extra hole. What was his heartbeat?
I don't know, Steve.
126.
That's up there then.
But he looked so calm. But he had a Fitbit. That's another machine that you put on your arm. It kind of gives you your vitals.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I wouldn't have even asked that question. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm good to know.
126.
That'll show up in Trivial Pursuits, so we need to remember that.
Yeah, let's go. Family reunion, we have Trivial Pursuit.
No, it can get your adrenaline going.
Yeah, but
but even when you're not even physically doing something, it's all that's what stress does to you, Steve, right there.
But if your heart goes to 126, why aren't you panting? He was calm. So it's interesting. If I go run up and down the street really fast right now, I'll get to 126, and I'll be panting.
They say how much stress can be debilitating. Well, if you're just looking like you're just sitting there, but your heart beats 120 because you're scared to death or very worried about something. Yeah. And he was very worried about not making that putt.
Right. but there's like 8 or 10% make a 21-foot putt.
No, that was one of those big, great, dramatic.
But it's not like he needs money. It's just interesting how your competitive juice.
No, what are you talking about? We all those games we played through the years, we weren't getting paid anything.
Yeah.
But boy, did we want to win.
Well, I do the CrossFit, and they have the Open every year.
Yeah, you want to win.
Well, it's amazing because I hadn't felt that since high school.
Yeah.
And it was my juices were, I was pumped, but it was like, I didn't feel, I wasn't panting, but I bet my heartbeat was up.
Yeah.
Because I was nervous because the clock starts and you have a certain amount of time. So it's interesting. I just thought that was a really high heartbeat for even a putt, but these guys look so calm.
I can't believe what his heartbeat was when he was putting.
What was Rory McIlroy's heartbeat when he sliced it into the water?
250.
I was going to say.
No, when he was doing that last 2-foot putt.
Oh, my gosh.
Which he's missed those before.
Oh, and they're never gimmies, right?
No,
they always have bend in them. They always have a little motion.
Well, and
top of the hole.
You just can't.
Lower hole.
Yeah, you just have to be there. And even, again, I've been pretty nervous on those little putts, and what was on the line? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. Hey, the news is coming up. We're going to have a Stever that's going to go online, but you can also get in by text. Land's Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, who we had some experience with recently at my mom's house. and the big fellow from Muhammad, who's 6'8".
Jalen Wheaton came over
Yeah.
within about an hour and had it fixed in 2.
Had some issues with the toilet.
And it was one of those rather large, involved projects as far as needing a big machine.
Yeah.
And we had to cut the roots out of the pipe, which we didn't.
Roto that thing through the pipe, and got the stuff out. Cut it out. And everything was fine, but it took a 400-pound machine that the kid carried by himself.
Down the basement.
Unbelievable.
And up.
And hit his head on the pipes because he's so tall.
Well, he's a good
older
guy.
house.
Really good man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I got from Lance. Here's our deal, Johnny. This is, if you're listening to me right now, I text in really fast, LANZ. And here's what I'm going to give you. They'll take care of checking out your air conditioning, furnace, plumbing. They'll take a peek with their camera through your pipes to see if you have a tree root problem. They'll do all that for, it's like $49 a month, and I'll do that for you for a year.
Whoa.
I will have Lance come into your home, and maybe you get this kid, Jalen Wheaton camp.
Wrestling.
6'8".
He was actually a wrestler in high school.
Oh my gosh,
Muhammad.
It'd be a little intimidating at 6'8", wouldn't he? Yeah.
If he used the leverage right, he was probably pretty good.
If you would like me to take care of a $500 for nothing, I will pay for that. For Lance to come into your home every month or every quarter, whenever they do their checkups. And that's a water heater, it's a sump pump, it's everything. They check it out. And then you get discounts if you need work. It's called the Orange Comfort Club, and I'm giving one away right now to 217-359-2255. If you just text in on the Fisher National Bank text line, LANZ for Troy Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Underground. So if you would like this amazing Stever, the program where I proudly give you money and you get to keep the stuff and all the services, I'll do that for you now. Good luck. Text in now.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Pope Francis in a red robe and a simple wooden coffin wanted a simplified Vatican funeral, already shaping up as an enormous world event. President Trump and First Lady Melania attending Saturday.
Starting this time tomorrow, the Pope will lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for the faithful to pay their respects and to say goodbye. Already crowds have gathered throughout the day here at the Vatican. The announcement of the Pope's death has triggered a series of events that will take place.
Fox's Alex Hogan, a conclave of cardinals under age 75 will elect the next pontiff. And Vice President J.D. Vance greeted in India as edgy markets watch whether he can close a trade deal with Prime Minister Modi to buy U.S. energy and weapons. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth denies the new Signal group chat allegations, tells Fox it's the media peddling lies from fired leakers trying to sabotage the Trump agenda. America's listening to Fox News.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola. Well, I tell you what, though, A&R has been such an amazing, impactful company. Your grandfather, your dad, you've all gone through stuff. And your secret is what, John?
Well, I mean, you have to trust that you're doing the right thing, first of all. And you got to surround yourself with good people. And I think over the years, we've had some really good people that have been part of A&R. And, you know, we owe a lot of our success, if not all of it, to those people.
Neil, you could say A&R has built a great part of Champaign-Urbana. It's about people. Can you explain the culture, why people would want to work at A&R?
We've had several families where we've gone even 3 generations. And these guys are long-term employees. They want to stay with us. And it's rewarding to know that they want to be with us. We have their backs. They have our backs. And that's a unique perspective, I think, from anybody this day and age.
I'm positive because you're such a solid company. A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign County Sheriff's deputy charged with theft exceeding $10,000 in a fundraising scandal for the 1078 Foundation. ISP Division of Criminal Investigations Zone 5 special agents issued a notice to appear in Champaign County on May 22nd to 40-year-old Matthew Stuckey. 4 Wisconsin people dead. It follows a plane crash in Trilla, Illinois. State police say it happened Saturday when a single-engine plane went down 3 miles south of Mattoon in Coles County. The coroner there identified the victims as Ross Nelson, Ramey Rundle, Courtney Morrow, and Michael Morrow. All the victims were from Menominee, Wisconsin. A street closure goes into effect in Champaign today in order to complete a sanitary sewer connection at 512 West White Street. DNS Sewer Company is closing the westbound lane of White Street just east of Lynn Street. The lane will reopen on or before April 27. Drive safe in construction zones. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign this Saturday. Warm front will be pressing to the north over the next 24 hours, and with it, some shower prospects up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee. We'll see that later on this morning and this afternoon there. But here, partly to mostly sunny. Southeast to south wind kicks in, and a high at about 76. Not as cool tonight. Could be a shower north of Champaign after midnight tonight. Low down to 53 tomorrow. Mostly sunny. Mild southeast wind will stay light at 78. A little more humidity. Partly sunny. Warm at 82 on Thursday. A couple of showers around later morning, more so for the afternoon. And showers, thunderstorms in here for Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday will cool things off for the weekend. Some short-term drying as well with upper 60s back into the upper 70s Monday. Lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms are back into play as well all 3 days with perhaps some heavy rainfall prospects too in the next 5 to 10 days. We'll keep you posted right here for Stevie J Broadcasting. I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Okay, good to have you along. We got another segment here, and then we're going to wrap it up. It's Brother Johnny with me. Diane Ducey off today. Fox News this morning. State's new totalitarian transgenderism bill sparks massive concerns from parents. Parental right advocates are cautioning against a totalitarian transgenderism bill rammed through the Colorado State House that they say could jeopardize parents' chances in custody battles if they misgender or dead name their kids. So if you don't go along with your kids, they can take the kids?
Well, or the counselor for the kids.
What is this? This is giving the authority to our state to take our children away if we don't agree with these gender transitions. Right. How can that possibly?
Well, here's how it starts. You don't like one-day voting, so you end up sending everybody a ballot who's on the register, and they sign the envelope. They don't sign a ballot, so there's no signature on any ballot. And you run her through, and it turns blue. No cheating, no fraud, no nothing. Everybody changes their mind because they get their ballot in the mail, I guess. Anyway, that's how Colorado runs it, and they're as blue as Illinois and California. Actually, probably more blue than Illinois because they really are fairly liberal. We have a lot of conservatives that just can't get it over the hump in elections.
With Cook County and even now Champaign County. I mean, otherwise it's 90.
But there's a lot of conservatives in Champaign County. It's 50-50. It's just 100% Democrat win. So, but they're there is what I'm saying. Colorado actually has real liberals, a lot of conservatives, but not. They're a more liberal state. But when you get into that kind of thing, I think it's one of those, high percentage issues where most people would say we don't want it. And unfortunately, the progressive way is no compromise.
Yeah.
We are doing this for your own good. It's for the greater good. And you really don't have any say in the matter.
Well, here's a mom, Erin Lee. She says, you're giving the authority to our state to take our children away if we don't agree with these gender transitions. So it's got huge ramifications for all parents, especially those in custody situations who are fighting with their ex-spouses to stop children from being medicalized. Unbelievable. It opens the door for all parents to potentially have their children forcibly removed by the state. You'd move, wouldn't you? I mean, you really think about moving.
Well, and if you're in a custody battle, that's another problem. You can't. So it's unfair, and I think it's almost when you start actually talking about that, trying to be, have a civilized conversation, it's almost impossible. And it just to me, the progressives are trying to pick a fight. They're trying to do things that they have to know most people wouldn't want, and they want to drive it down our throats. So I think it's really the underlying goal is to just dismantle this nation and rebuild it in some other fashion.
What is their goal? We're so evil from slavery, which we're one of the only civilizations to banish it and get away from slavery.
I think it's a combination of wanting attention and just that drive people have to take over.
What is their utopia? What do they envision?
And they also have this skewed sense of justice to fight for what's right. And they don't know what that is. But they fight pretty hard.
Under that philosophy, you don't have a strong military. You don't need it because you trust others and they're good people. The other people are fine. Don't you think that America would never have survived without the soldier? We never would have survived.
I think the totalitarian word is actually pretty applicable. It's just, here's how we're doing it. What's your problem? Don't you understand English? There's no other side to this. And the big problem they're having is there's a lot of other sides, and they can't squelch it. They're trying to censor. They're trying to cut off other sources of information. When that happens, then they can win this thing. But as long as there can be the other side that says, no, look at it this way, people are still smart enough to say, oh, I think he's right.
I can't envision. I'm sure we have some in Champaign County parents that would totally back something like this. But it can't be more than 5 or 10%.
Yeah, not very.
It'd be a 90% issue.
Yeah, I'm not even sure there would be 5.
There'd be some on in Urbana. Sorry.
Maybe that their kids should have medical treatment for transgender. Maybe, but not that the state should have the say over it. They wouldn't want the state to come in and say you can't do it. And so it goes both ways. And that principle of you don't have control of your own family is, I think, a pretty high percentage of, we don't want to go that far.
No question. 217-359-2255. You want to jump on the Fisher National Bank text line. 841.
The University of Illinois Police Training Institute has been training police and correctional officers from across Illinois since 1955. 2025 marks the 70th year anniversary, making PTI one of the longest-running academies in the country. On June 28th at Willow Pond Golf Course in Rantoul, become a sponsor or register for the golf outing, with proceeds raised funding the first phase of the relocation plan. Learn more about the Willow Pond Golf Outing June 28th as you visit pti.illinois.edu. Ever wonder why you pay your bank to have a checking account? Fisher National Bank does too. You see, they offer free rewards cashback checking that gives you cash back on debit purchases, no service fees or balance requirements. Simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit in a monthly cycle. It's so simple. Reward yourself today with rewards cashback checking. Learn more at any branch or FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Attention all truck drivers looking for a new opportunity with great pay and amazing benefits. Gale Frericks Trucking has got you covered. Join their team, receive a $4,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $4,000 just for coming on board. Plus, enjoy a $1,200 gross weekly pay guarantee. Drive their state-of-the-art Freightliner Cascadia trucks equipped with a revolutionary system designed to reduce weight and downtime. Get home every weekend and some nights during the week with paid vacations and holidays. They offer company-sponsored health insurance and all the benefits you deserve. Regional drivers get first priority. Don't wait. Apply in person at Dedicated Diesel, 1313 Triumph Drive, Urbana, or call Tim at 765-505-1295. That's 765-505-1295. Start your journey today with Gale Frericks Trucking. Yep. All right. Okay, so at sports headlines, I can do a quick minute on that. When the Cubs didn't play, and the Cardinals lost again. So
no wonder you hadn't said anything.
Yeah,
but Diane usually covers that.
Yeah, she does. But the Cardinals lost. They've lost. They're 9-14, and 6 of those losses are one run. They lost again 7-6 last night to Atlanta. Atlanta got 5 in the bottom of the 8th.
Wow.
Man.
How'd the Reds do? Are they still on a tear?
Reds lost. They scored 25 runs night before last, but 2 of the guys that pitched late in that game were like a shortstop and an outfielder. I mean, it's time to get healthy. We had one guy get 6 hits, another guy got 5 for 7 RBI. I mean, when you're batting,
how many runs did they
25.
25 runs in one game.
25 hits, 25 runs, and they could only get 3 last night, lost 6-3 to Miami, the Reds. Anyway, Cubs play the Dodgers tonight. Okay. The Dodgers, this will be Game 6 and Game 7 the next 2 days. Then they're done with the L.A. Dodgers for the year. So get that over with.
What's their record against the Dodgers?
I
thought they did very
lost
well.
2 in Tokyo. I think got 2 out of 3 in L.A. and then these 2 here.
Okay.
So they're 2 and 3, and they're 2 at home in Wrigley, and Cubs are in first place. So
we'll
boom.
see who wins this Dodger series this year.
I mean, it's the Dodgers are bust, right? I mean, they spent so much money. If they don't win the World Series again, it's like, what happened to you guys? Just like when John Wooden missed the national championship 1 year in the 70s, right? And
I still want to talk to O'Shea Ohtani and see if he could. But he'll have to look at it. But if he could get by on $775 million, then the minor league players would make $60,000 a year instead of $30,000.
Yeah, no question about it. And everything quiet on the front. We're just looking at Brad Underwood's basketball team, see what other pieces he adds. 1 or 2 more, we think. But that takes some time, and then there's a bidding war and all the things that go on in college basketball and football now. So
it's such a change. It's unbelievable.
Johnny, I thought they were going to get $15 when their jersey was sold. Good for you.
I was thinking of something like you could get up to $100,000, but it was put in escrow while you're in college, and it just builds while you're learning, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But a free-for-all, free agency, portal the first year, no limit. I mean, it is
well, but now there's a limit, a cap now starting. But
they're not going to be able to enforce that.
Well, they're going to be the cheating again.
Well, that's what I mean.
I mean, right now it's like at least Illinois has an equal chance. Just go get more money. That's all you got to do. All right, thank you for dropping in, Johnny. Appreciate it.
All right, Stevie J, thanks for being here, and I'm probably going to spend as much time outside today as I can.
74.
With the sun shining.
Ooh, it's nice.
All right.
Thank you. That's Brother Johnny. Here's more on the Cardinal game.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals had a couple of leads in the game, only to have a 5-run bottom of the 8th inning give Atlanta a commanding 4-run lead. Yet when it was all said and done, the Cardinals put on a charge against Raisel Iglesias. A couple of doubles, Pages, Victor Scott, and a home run by the Cardinal first baseman Wilson Contreras. The Cardinals were down by a run, and that's the way the game ended, 7-6 Atlanta.
Couldn't quite overcome the 8th inning, which was really a disaster for the Cardinals bullpen. Not a good outing for Phil Maton, really his worst as a Cardinal. His numbers had been good coming into the game, but he just did not have it, was not throwing strikes, and JoJo Romero giving up the home run to Murphy.
Eric Fetty, though, put up a quality start.
Another good start for him, really a courageous one, considering he got hit in the knee with a line drive early.
Spencer Strider will not start the game tonight. He's on the injured list with a hamstring injury, but Andre Palante will start for the Cardinals. We're on the air from Atlanta at 5:20.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
All right, that's sports. 8:47. We'll check Greg's weather one more time. Coming up.
Nate Evans at the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty. If someone wants to build their dream home, how can you help them find that perfect property?
Yeah, these are getting tougher and tougher every year. Everybody's looking for specific properties. Maybe it's high character. Maybe there's woods, trees, water, pond, lake. The more that Champaign continues to grow, and some of our river town communities offer some of them high character lands, a lot tougher it is to come across these. We have found a huge network of potential sellers and landowners that have told us, hey, if the number makes sense, we'd be willing to sell. And that doesn't always have to be obnoxious. A lot of times that's just timing. We've also found a lot of these parcels, if we get enough demand, that they're willing to chop up and we can subdivide again. I think working with somebody that's familiar and been a part of a lot of these residential subdivision developments, such as ourselves, they'll be aware of the opportunities and the land opportunities for those buyers and be able to partner with the appropriate builders based on their budgets.
You can reach out at Nate Evans Group and start packing.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Your lawn is an important investment. Let Spring Green take care of that lawn. Your local, family-owned and operated Spring Green has been committed to beautifying your neighborhood through quality, service, and professionalism. Spring Green's full program customers are backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Smart Money Magazine reports that consumers value a home with a well-maintained lawn and landscape up to 11.3% higher than the base price. Why don't you call Spring Green today, 359-2111, or visit them at spring-green.com.
Why use Land's Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry. From a basic sewer pipe repair to replacing a sewer main, installing a water line to installing a septic system, installing underground utilities for a new construction project to rehabilitating the old pipes under a school. Land's has the most versatile and experienced team in the industry. Residential, commercial, and industrial, when it comes to your underground pipes, think Land's Underground Solutions. Why call anyone else?
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign event is Saturday. Nice next couple of 2 or 3 days by and large. Developing warm front will keep most of the shower chances up to the north until Thursday into Friday. Some widespread moisture expected. Slight cool off for the weekend. Another bigger warm up and more wet weather ahead for next week. For this afternoon, turning mostly sunny and warmer. We'll see highs up to about 76 degrees on an increasing southeast to south wind. And later this morning, up north of Champaign County towards the Kankakee, maybe shower comes along. For tonight, an isolated shower chance here. After midnight, though, not as cool, low down to 53. Sunshine back in tomorrow. Mild southeast wind and high at 78. Should top 80 on Thursday with a shower thunderstorm chance early, more likely later in the day. And a couple of showers and thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. 75 on Friday. Will cool to the upper 60s. For the weekend, a bit of sunshine. Warming up to 77 next Monday. Into the lower 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms back into play. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Ultras, Greg Solier.
Hark, there be a barge of overseas appliances, overpriced tariff-laden goods. Unload quick! We don't have any other choice but to pay the high prices.
Sure we do.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, it be Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. What speak ye about saving money?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you don't need to worry about overpriced tariff goods. We are stocked with pre-tariff inventory.
You don't need me overpriced appliances from overseas?
Nope, we're good. We even have Speed Queen in stock made right here in the good old Midwest.
You want none of it?
We have 2 warehouses full of pre-tariff inventory and a service department to repair your existing appliance if you want to save even more money instead of buying new.
Well, I'll be. Can I interest ye in me lobster bisque?
Well, it is 9 a.m.
You got to try me lobster bisque.
Okay, all right, I'll get some to go. Take credit card?
With a 5% service charge and sign here for a minimum 30% tip.
Wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
We're talking to John Reichert and Neil Asklin I guess the first question for me, John, is what is it like being part of A&R, knowing how this all started? It was your grandfather, then your dad, and now you, and 100 years in business is hard. How do you explain that?
Well, it's incredible, honestly. When I was a boy, obviously my father was running the company. It's always been, part of my life, but I knew that we had good people, at that time that worked for the company. I think with God's help and protection that we survived and frankly thrived.
I think the thrive is the key word here. Neil Asklin, I guess, let me ask you about your dad, Ken Asklin, who partnered with Dave, and they got it going in the 50s and kept it going, and you being part of the company.
I've been around since I was a young teenager, so something that I've grown to love, and the camaraderie and getting things done. And these huge projects that we're doing now just amazes me.
A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later.
Now at Jets, order any 3-topping pizza and get $5 off. Just use promo code 3TOP when ordering. That's the number 3, T-O-P. Want to impress family and friends and spend less? Get creative and build your own 3-topping pizza with their favorites for your holiday gatherings. Available in deep dish, thin crust, New York style, or hand-tossed round. Any 3-topping Jets pizza for $5 off with promo code 3TOP. It's a deal. Jets, better because it has to be.
Okay, thank you for listening. The boys this afternoon on the drive after 3 o'clock. Derek Piper, Lonte with Kyle Toss. That'll be from 3 to 5 with the first hour repeated in the 5 o'clock hour. And our Stever offer is $500 to Lands for a monthly visit. Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground. Text in LANZ to 217-359. 359-2255. I am Stevie J. Thank you for listening. Meet you tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit bulldoggybag.com.
That's bulldoggybag.com.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
You've heard about the doggy bag, right? From Bulldog Disposal Mahomet, a 6 cubic yard canvas bag that can be used for easy cleanup instead of a big dumpster. The one-time use bag is now available and you can save the delivery charge. Get the doggy bag at Do It Best Hardware in Champaign at 107 West Springfield. So fill up the bag, call Bulldog Disposal, have it disposed of, and you'll be organized. Go to bulldoggybag.com for all the details. That's bulldoggybag.com.
Fighting Illini fans, your Illinois football team is coming off a 10-win season as Citrus Bowl champs. This fall, Illinois returns 18 starters from the Citrus Bowl victory, including star quarterback Luke Altmaier for a third straight season. Led by head coach Brett Bielema, the Fighting Illini are listed on nearly every major top 25 ranking for the 2025 season. Stay up to date on all things Fighting Illini football at fightingillini.com. We can't wait to see you back in Memorial Stadium this fall.
John Party is bringing the Honky Tonk Hollywood Tour to the State Farm Center on Friday, September 19th. Tickets go on sale this Friday, April 18th at 10 a.m. at statefarmcenter.com. Win them before you buy them with Stevie J Broadcasting. Text in US 1059 to 217-359-2255 for a chance to win a free pair from your country concert connection.
Might have a little dirt on my boots, but I'm taking you uptown tonight.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
My name is Jim Brookins. I own my lawn care service for over 15 years now. I have met a lot of great people doing this. Most of the people I meet, they become great friends. I do edging, weed eating. I blow everything off so it looks fantastic when I'm done. I believe, in my mind, I do the best. Usually my average range is usually around $40 per yard. You can call me 217-621-8807. 217-621-8807.
Tim Culver, owner and president of Classic Plumbing and Air.
A plumber is a person that is well-rounded. They have education, they have experience, and they are versed in more than only one phase of plumbing. A plumber is someone that has experience in all three phases, and they understand how all three of these plumbing aspects work together as well.
Was in the heating and air conditioning business for approximately 30 years and then retired in 2021. So I came out of retirement because I'm